Matthew chapter 7, verses 24 through 27. If you have it, say amen. It reads, "Therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him unto a wise man who built his house on a rock. And the rain descended, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it did not fall, for it was founded on the rock. But whoever hears these sayings of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it fell, and great was its fall." Hey, man, look at somebody this morning and say, "Neighbor, you can't blow down my house." Amen. Look at somebody else and say, "You can't." I should say, let me say it properly. You cannot blow down my house. Amen. You may take your seat. You cannot blow down my house, but you can't blow down my house sounds better. Amen. Amen. And in life, there are many programs available to you. There's programs here and programs there and programs all around us. When I was a kid, I don't watch much regular television now, but when I was a kid, I would watch TV, and there were all kinds of programs that came on TV. I can remember being at my grandmother's house and watching TV because grandma had cable at her house. And so, when you had cable wasn't available readily as much as when I was a kid. If you had cable, you were doing something back then. You had the big box with the red letters, and you had cable. I want to go to grandma's house because grandma has cable. But every now and then, somebody would forget, amen, to pay the cable bill. And the cable would be off, and I could not watch the shows that I wanted to watch, and I would have to watch regular TV, and they would have commercials for different programs. There are programs if you want to lose weight. There's a program for that. They had Jenny Craig. They had Richard Simmons. They had all kinds of programs available to you. If you wanted to buy something, they had 24-hour channels where you can go on. They had a program for that. If you had mental health issues, they have a program. There are programs for just about anything in life that you want to do. The question is this morning, what kind of a program do you have for your life? What kind of program are you implementing in your life? What are you intaking? What are you putting into your body? We just came out of Thanksgiving, and if you were like me, my diet went out the window. I didn't care about the calories. I didn't care that I was mixing mac and cheese and cornbread. That I didn't care that I was mixing mac and cheese, cornbread, and dressing. I didn't care that I had roast, that I had turkey, that I had all these different things. I did not care. My program went out of the window. But don't you know that you can't just put everything into your body? You can't just put all kinds of sugars. You can't put all kinds of food into you, because what you put in can make you sick. Amen. I was sick this weekend. I had so much food at my grandma's house. I mean, when I say I ate, I mean I ate. And I left grandma's house and I went over to the in-laws' house, and they had food, and I was going to try to be cool over there, and I said, I'm not going to eat too much. And they said, well, Ricky, have you eaten? I said, well, I ate just a little bit, but I guess I could eat. So when I say that I ate, that I took in stuff into my body, I ate up until the point to where I was saying, Lord, please don't let me have to call Pastor Jefferson and tell him that I won't be able to preach today because I'm just not feeling good, because I put some stuff into my body. Question I have for you today is, what are you putting into you? What are you intaking? What are you putting inside of you? In our text this morning, we have Jesus giving a parable about those who are builders, those who are wise. And the question is, what is your foundation built upon? Because you do know that whatever you put into you is going to be a reflection of what comes out of you. What you put in your mind, that's what you're going to think about. What you put into your heart, that's what's going to come out of your mouth. And so you have to understand that when you're building a foundation, it's important that you build your foundation. Amen. I know this may sound oxymoronic, but you got to build your foundation on the right foundation. Say that again. You've got to build your foundation on the right foundation, because you do realize that you can't build a house on just every piece of land. You can't go out and build something on every piece of land. There's some pieces of land that doesn't matter how much you dig, doesn't matter how much you plant, doesn't matter how much you try to smooth it over, that is just no good to build on. And so you got to understand that there are phases of a house or phases of something being built as you work on your program. When a house is being built, the very first thing that they must do is they've got to dig up the ground. They got to dig up the ground. Why must we dig up the ground? Because there's some things in the soil that just may not be any good for you. There's some things in the soil that just have to come up. Sometimes the ground that you've been building on, that you may want to build on, it may have been contaminated in the past. It may have been a landfill where other people went and dumped all of their stuff that they didn't want, all of the stuff that other folks didn't want or need, and now they put it on this land, and here you come trying to build your house on land that people put other stuff that they didn't even want. So you've got to dig up the ground. You've got to get rid of all of the toxins, all of the things that are no good, so that we can begin to lay a proper foundation to begin to lay the cement. Second thing, after you've dug up the ground, you must now smooth it out the ground. You got to get rid of all the old stuff, and you got to smooth it out, and you got to begin to prepare to allow this cement, this foundation, to dry. I can remember as I was getting a house built from the ground up, it was an amazing thing to see, an amazing thing to view. You know, you go out and you pick your lot, pastor, and you say, I want that lot right there. And they tell you about all the things, all the amenities that are going to be around the house. There's going to be a park right over there. And then when we get that together, there's going to be a swimming pool right there. And then when we get that together, there's going to be a school, elementary school over there. And then we're going to build a Stater Brothers back there. And then, you know, there's going to be a Whole Foods. Or, they're going to build a Whole Foods? Yeah, we're going to build a Whole. And they paint a picture of everything that's going on. You know, if you live around a Whole Foods, you know you're all right. But there's a great picture of how they painted of what's going to be there. But there's something about it. As they're telling you all this, all you see is just a slab of cement. And I asked them one day, I said, man, as they were building the house, I said, I see the guys going around with the little poles on the cement. Why are they going out and poking on the cement? What's going on with the cement? Why are these guys out here? Why is it taking so long for you guys to get started on this? You know, we put the deposit down a long time ago. I want my house and I want to live in it right now. You told me about all the great things that are coming. You told me about the school. You told me about the Whole Foods. You've told me about the Stater Brothers. You told me about the swimming pool and the park. You've told me about all these things. Why is it taking so long? He said to me, sir, we've got to ensure that the ground is solid. We got to ensure that the cement is dry. Because if we built this house and we put it up and the cement has not dried, then everything that you built, everything that you paid for will come tumbling down upon you. The question I have today, brothers and sisters, is have you ever tried to build your house too quickly? Are you in a rush to get things done? Are you in a rush to things to happen for you in your life? You've got to understand something, that it is going to come to pass, but you've got to spend time and you've got to wait, because you got to wait on God in order for it to get done. You got to know that they've got to test the cement. They've got to poke the cement. They've got to push the cement. You've got to be tested. You've got to be tried. You've got to be developed in order to understand that you are built on a solid rock. He said to me, he said, sir, if we have one crack, somebody say one crack. if we have one crack in this cement, we've got to dig up the entire slab of cement. Then we've got to put it down. And then we got to wait another 3 to 4 months again just to ensure that the cement can dry up. And then we got to start the entire process again. What am I trying to tell somebody here today? First thing I'm trying to tell you is you've got to wait on the Lord and be patient and understand that God is working on your behalf. God said it to you. God showed you. God gave you a vision. God revealed it to you. You've got to know that you've got to wait. Don't be so impatient waiting on God. Don't be impatient while waiting on God, but serve God while you're waiting on God and watch and see what God is going to do. Trust God for the promise. Trust God because he showed you that there was going to be a swimming pool over there. Trust God because he showed you and told you that there's going to be a school over there. Trust God because he told you that there's going to be a Whole Foods over there. I'm giving you physical things, but I don't know what God has promised you. I don't know what God has shown you, but I'm here to tell somebody on this Thanksgiving weekend to wait on God. Don't get tired. Don't get weary and well-doing. You just keep waiting on God. You keep trusting in God because God is developing you. And so they had to test. They had to test